In the beginning, the book of Genesis opens with the most iconic phrase in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This simple yet profound statement introduces us to the foundational belief of Judaism and Christianity. The universe did not come into being randomly, but was purposefully created by a single, all-powerful God. This concept, known as creation out of nothing, stands in stark contrast to many ancient creation myths that often depicted the world as emerging from a pre-existing chaos or primordial being. Genesis presents a radical departure by asserting that God created the universe from nothing, solely through his divine will and word. This act establishes God's absolute sovereignty and sets the stage for the unfolding narrative of creation. The creation story unfolds over 6 distinct days, culminating in a 7th day of rest. It is important to note that the Hebrew word yom, translated as day, can also mean age or period. Therefore, these days should not be interpreted literally as 24-hour periods, but rather as symbolic representations of the stages in God's creative process. Each day sees God issuing a command, followed by the phrase, "and it was so," highlighting the immediate and effortless efficacy of his word. The first day of creation begins with the earth depicted as formless and void, shrouded in darkness. God's first act of creation is to speak light into existence. He says, "Let there be light," and light appears, piercing the darkness and marking the beginning of order and form in the universe. God then separates the light from the darkness, calling the light day and the darkness night. This initial act of creation carries profound symbolic significance. Light is often associated with knowledge, goodness, and life itself, while darkness represents the unknown, chaos, and evil. By creating light, God dispels the primordial chaos and establishes the fundamental rhythm of day and night, a cycle that will govern life on earth. The separation of light and darkness signifies the imposition of order over chaos, a recurring theme throughout the creation narrative. On the second day, God turns his attention to the waters that cover the earth. He creates a vault or firmament to separate the waters above from the waters below. This vault is called the sky. The image evoked here is one of a vast dome arching over the earth, creating a separation between the heavenly realm above and the earthly realm below. The creation of the sky further emphasizes God's ordering power. He is not only the creator of matter, but also the architect of the cosmos, carefully structuring and organizing the universe according to his divine plan. The separation of waters also has practical implications, creating the necessary conditions for life to flourish on Earth. The waters above, perhaps conceived as clouds or a celestial ocean, would provide rain, while the waters below would form the seas and oceans. The third day sees the further development of the earthly realm. God commands the waters below the sky to gather together, forming seas and oceans and allowing dry land to appear. He calls the dry land earth and the gathered waters seas. With the separation of land and water, the basic topography of the earth is established. But God's creative work on the third day doesn't stop there. He commands the earth to bring forth vegetation, and the earth responds by producing plants, trees, and all kinds of greenery. This marks the emergence of plant life, essential for sustaining the animal life that God will create later. The earth, barren just a day earlier, now teems with life, demonstrating God's abundant and life-giving power. On the fourth day, God turns his attention back to the heavens. He creates the sun, moon, and stars. These celestial bodies are not simply decorative, they are given specific functions. The sun will govern the day, providing light and warmth, while the moon will illuminate the night. The stars, too, are given a role to serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years, providing a celestial calendar for humanity. The creation of the sun, moon, and stars on the fourth day, after the creation of plants on the third day, has puzzled some readers. However, it's important to remember that these are symbolic accounts, not literal ones. The emphasis here is on God's establishment of order and purpose. He creates these celestial bodies to govern time and seasons, demonstrating his sovereign control over the natural world. On the fifth day, God's creative activity moves to the waters and the sky. He commands the waters to teem with living creatures and for birds to fly above the earth across the vault of the sky. The seas are filled with a vast array of fish and other sea creatures, while the skies come alive with birds of all shapes and sizes. The creation of sea creatures and birds on the fifth day marks another significant step in the unfolding of life on earth. This is the first instance of God creating animals, creatures with the ability to move and reproduce. The text emphasizes the sheer abundance and diversity of these creatures, using the phrase "according to their kinds" to highlight the incredible variety of life forms that God brings into being. The sixth and final day of creation sees the emergence of land animals and, most importantly, humankind. God commands the earth to bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, and a vast array of animals appear, from cattle to creeping things to beasts of the earth. Then, in a separate and distinct act of creation, God creates humankind. The creation of humanity is the climax of the creation narrative and is given special prominence. Unlike the animals, which are simply brought forth by the earth, humans are formed by God himself. Genesis 2:7 provides a more detailed account of the creation of the first human, Adam. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. After 6 days of creating, God rests on the seventh day, blessing it and making it holy. This day, the Sabbath, is set apart as a special day, a day for rest and reflection, a time to cease from work and acknowledge God's sovereignty and creative power. The establishment of the Sabbath is not merely an afterthought, it is integral to the creation narrative. The Sabbath serves as a reminder that God is the ultimate creator and sustainer of all things. It is a day to acknowledge our dependence on Him and to appreciate the goodness of His creation. The command to remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy becomes a central tenet of Jewish law, a tangible way to honor God and live in accordance with His will. The Genesis creation story is not just a quaint tale from the ancient past. It is a foundational text that has shaped Western thought and culture for millennia. The story's influence can be seen in art, literature, music, and philosophy. It provides a framework for understanding the relationship between God and humanity, the natural world, and our place within it. The story's enduring power lies in its ability to address fundamental human questions about our origins, our purpose, and our relationship with the divine. It teaches us that we are not cosmic accidents, but beings created in the image of God, endowed with dignity, value, and a responsibility to care for creation. While scientific discoveries have provided new insights into the origins of the universe and the evolution of life, the Genesis creation story continues to resonate with people of faith, offering a timeless message of hope, purpose, and the enduring power of the divine.